So I've got a 1990 Jeep Wrangler YJ. It's been in storage for just shy of a year. I know the battery's dead, and when I parked it here, it was leaking antifreeze out of the heater core, so it's going to need a new heater core. Be able to bypass that, but today we're going to grab the battery out of it, take it to the house, put it on a charger, see if it's still good, and then we'll be back at a later date and we'll just bypass that heater core, add some antifreeze, and then get it to the house and start going through it, try and get it back on the road again. Alright, we're back here this morning where I've got the Jeep stored, and we're going to see if we can get it started up. I know it needs the heater core bypassed. I need to add coolant to it, which today is just going to be water. And when we get to the house, we're going to end up replacing the heater core and putting new coolant in it anyway. Got the charged up battery to drop in, and should be ready to drive home at that point. So let's get to it. Yep, I guess even though we charged that battery and the battery charger says it was good, it might not be good. Got her running, but the registration I left in my other truck, so I really don't want to drive it this morning on the road. And then I'm gonna have to pull a battery out again, and we're just gonna need a new battery. But we'll probably be back in a couple days or next week sometime to drive it home. I got to get a couple of the projects moved out of the house as well, so we'll get back to it then. Today we're going to power wash the underside of this Jeep, just kind of get the road grime and stuff off of it, and ball joints, water pump, and that should be it for now. Maybe overdone that one the last time. It's a special socket they make. It's just an Autocraft brand one. I probably got it from like O'Reilly's or AutoZone or something. Got that. There's a locking ring in there. It doesn't want to come out. There we go. Got a keyed shaft in there. Another one of these nuts. There we go. So it's not going to be too tight if I can ever get on it. There we go. You see, as it gets looser, you lose bearing preload as you go tighter. A little less. Now it's all gone. But you don't want to go too tight because then your bearings will drag. So usually you go to where it's kind of tight and then just back it off to the next alignment hole. There we go. There's that locking pin for the ring. So you tighten that down, back it off just a little bit like I said. You have your keyed shaft, so it's only going to go in two ways, this way, or you can rotate it, and these holes are offset from the center of the key. Then you have this other nut that I had on there tight, and that's locking everything in so that it can't rotate and it can't change your bearing preload. Bearings and seal are not that old. They maybe have 1,000 miles on them. I don't really drive this Jeep that much, so we're just gonna set these aside. We're trying to get to the ball joints today. Brake caliper holder. Now we gotta break this loose here. I'm gonna hit it with a little loosey-goosey, whack it with a hammer a couple times, and then see if we can start prying on it. And that should be the last thing holding. That's the stub shaft. Because this is a full float axle, so all the bearings ride on this stub shaft. As opposed to like a unit bearing that would bolt up here and then it would just have the bearings as part of that assembly. Stuff's been working pretty good. Penetrating oil, loosey-goosey. It's just helping break it free. Oh yeah, see that? Checking the U-joint. Nice and tight. It's obviously the short side. Short side being that the differential on the front axle is on the driver's side on this, so we have a short driver's side, where the other side is going to be longer. Rear axle usually have a center diff, so both are the same size and you can swap them. So if you're going to carry a rear spare axle shaft on the trail, you only really need one, where the front, if you're going to carry spares, you're going to have to carry two different sizes, a short side and a long side. So pull the steering now, pull these, and then start giving them some persuasion wrench. Alright, let's see how this goes. Okay, so you back up just a touch. Jam nut. All right, well that pretty much finishes out the front axle on this Jeep. We got the hub completely reassembled and the driver's side tire put back on, and then the same thing on the passenger side. And the steering's improved drastically. So definitely needed new ball joints, and I'm glad that we finally got around to it. But thanks for tuning in, and hit that subscribe button. Follow along for whatever projects we have coming up next. Have a good one. Take care.